just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Packer Up, boys, brought to you by Grumpy Coffee. Here she is, son. I tell you what, we just finished our coffees and my frown is upside down. I was struggling a bit today, but I bounced back after a Grumpy Coffee. First of all, I want to say a massive, massive thank you to everyone's patience. Most of the launch and the pre-orders have all been sent out. By next Wednesday, we'll be fully caught up and it'll be back to normal where you order it and you will get it within a couple of days of you ordering it. And also, just so everyone knows, with our coffee, we roast the beans like relatively close to shipping out. We don't let it sit there for 30 to 60 days or whatever. We make sure it's fresh. Beautiful, beautiful coffee. Matter of fact, yesterday at the golf day, how many people, I won't even say it, Matty, how many people were commenting on the coffee?
Like
everyone.
Like literally everyone that walked past.
Just saying how beautiful it is. So head to grumpycoffee.com.au. I'm telling you guys, I'll be shocked if it isn't one of the best coffees you've tasted. It's a beautiful coffee. I like every day. You like?
Yeah, I like the Very Grumpy, the kind of darker blend. Yeah.
Yep. So you got Very Grumpy, which is the darker blend, rich and full bodied, dark chocolate, citrus, and butterscotch. And then the everyday, which is the everyday, it's smooth and balanced milk chocolate, hazelnut gelato, and brown sugar. Just swish it around in your mouth a little bit and you'll get that aftertaste. It's beautiful. But I tell you what, what's even more important than my silly little coffee company is someone handed me, people that aren't watching right now, they don't know what I'm holding in my hand. It is, seriously, when Matty picked it up earlier, he said he got chills.
I literally got goosebumps.
Little goosebumps.
Yeah.
So we were at the Sporting Globe this morning on the Matty John show, Morning Glory, and apologies that I wasn't there when he left the magazines, but one of the blokes left a big league magazine for the grand final this weekend. I don't even know if they make them anymore during the year. This must just be a special edition. Not only is it, so this is a themed souvenir edition.
Wow.
And it's not just like a gimmick or whatever. It's genuinely got stories. It's got the team list. It's got stories from Landies. It's got stories from journalists, like whatever you want. It's got NRLW stuff as well. It's got all the stats with the lineup. It's got stories from Pappenhausen. It is genuinely amazing. And just to hold this in my hand, it's really high quality too. It's actually even a higher quality than what they normally do each week. So Big League presents 2024 Grand Final. I don't know why I feel honoured to be holding it. I don't know what it is. There's just something about it. Have a hold, bro.
Sick. Yes.
That's how you start your grand final a few days off, don't
special.
you? Mate, how good is it?
I just had a look. If you are going to the grand final, they're going to be selling them there.
Oh, that's
No
mad.
way. Okay,
Yep.
so you can get them at the grand final.
Yep.
Get yourself one.
Mate, they're so good.
They are a COVID casualty, unfortunately. Big League discontinued
okay.
in 2020.
Man, there's something. I know we're the most digital people ever. Like we get everything online, but we still haven't found a way to replace that cool feeling of getting a footy magazine in your hand and flipping through it.
And mate, those I'm just seeing it now. Those grand final shots, post grand final win of each year, and some of the celebratory shots. Man, that's epic.
That's
giving me goosebumps.
Yeah,
actually.
Doesn't get any better. So shout out Big League. Shout out Big League.
So good.
So we'll make sure to put that in the studio back wall there, the Big League. But Sandor, mate, how you going, brother?
Yeah, mate, I've had my shop of Very Grumpy coffee today. I'll text you on the way here. I've taken that bloody fucking Liverpool exit again, mate. So I'm ready to pack the feet up. But it's grand final week, baby. The energy's high. But it's been a good week, brother. I'm excited to chop it up.
How's the meat diet
good
guide going?
See, Nathan Cleary's on the carnivore diet.
Is he?
Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah. I seen him. Shout out to Our Cow. I get my meat off them as well. They go direct to farmers, so they're a really good quality source. But apparently he's made the transition. But mate, it's serving me well.
No way.
I heard a lot of the Penrith boys are on it. Yeah.
Really?
Makes sense.
Yep.
You're next, brother.
Oh man, maybe I'll start to get ripped again. Get rid of this dad bod. I always would have thought that like the meat diet as a professional athlete, would you get enough carbs in that?
So without knowing exactly what he does, when I first did it, I actually made the transition when we were in 2020, when we were in the COVID year up at the hotel.
Yep.
And just before we got locked down in Queensland, I went and bought myself a Weber barbecue. The butcher up there would drop off the meat, and that's when I started. But you do have to make some tweaks as an athlete.
Yeah, okay.
You do have to incorporate some carbohydrates, but it is still predominantly meat. But, bruh, I'll tell you the one thing. I don't know if you can connect on this, but typical athlete diet, as you know, pastas, all this shit, muesli bars. I nearly every time would get to the game and I'm like, bro, I've been sleeping all day. I've been sitting at the hotel. I've done nothing. And I'd get to the game and I was still like lethargic because typical you'd go to the team room, have a massive bowl of pasta, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
When I made the switch and tweaked some of these things in my diet, I couldn't believe it. So there's plenty I'd change, but there is a better way.
So you were rocking up like buzzing almost. Yeah, okay.
And the shift was I basically had... I'd have some carbohydrates the night before, but then, and I was rattled the first time I tried it. Breakfast was like bacon, eggs, some steak. I had a steak for lunch, took it in my own Tupperware container when we went to the game. And then I'd have a bone broth, bulletproof coffee. And I was on and I was bouncing off the walls. And I was like, I was shitting myself. I was like, bruh, I've eaten a steak before the game.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
This isn't normal.
And then you just felt zoned in.
Mate, it felt unreal.
Okay, because you can sometimes, especially like, 20 years ago, you just were told to carb up. And literally what happens when you carb up? You feel like going to sleep.
That's what I mean.
Like what happens when you have a big meal? You're always like, oh man, I'm tired. Yeah. And yet we're always told carb up because that's how you have heaps of energy.
So now my carbs are, I just use fruit and honey, honey and dates, fast acting carbs before my workout, stuff like that. But otherwise it's just meat train.
Yeah, okay. What about, is it frustrating, like, you're lying in bed, you're a bit hungry, you've already had your dinner, but you get hungry when you're lying in bed sometimes?
You're not hungry, bro. It's not when you eat a high protein, high fat.
I always get hungry because I get hungry in bed because I don't eat at the start of the day. So
that's another problem, yeah. I have a high protein, high fat man. My breakfast go-to is half a kilo of mince and 3-4 eggs. I'm not getting hungry.
Holy.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what, you just pre-cook the mince in a big thingo and then just chuck it on the morning?
I usually go mince just because it's so easy. Like I'll cook a few kilos of mince on a Sunday.
Do you just microwave it in the morning, or do you cook it properly?
Nah, it's all pre-done and then I'll heat it up before I eat it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Does the microwave in it like zap the shit out of it?
I try not to microwave it where I can.
So you can just chuck it in the frying pan to heat it up?
Yeah, or in the pot.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
I do a lot of slow cooking as well. You chuck that thing in the slow cooker.
You know who used to do that like years ago when no one was doing it? Minicello.
Yeah, 100%. I was still at the Roosters when he kind of converted everyone. Fitzy was big for that as well.
You would have been there.
Yeah, I was still there.
No way.
He was the first one. Like protein shakes were coconut water and eggs. He'd only have coconut water and salt on the sideline for training, no Gatorade. And I was
really?
Like, holy shit. But it was real left field then. But yeah, he only really eats slow cooked meat to make sure he preserves all of the nutrients. Yeah, he's next level mini.
I had him on the potty years ago, and he was talking about doing exactly that. He said, mate, chuck it on in the morning.
Yep.
You get home, you're sweet. It's not he said it's not as much work as you think it's going to be, as long as you have, if you just structure it sweet, you don't have to actually worry about it as much.
Yeah. Slow cooker and mince is my hack to just have it be as easy and convenient as possible.
Yeah. So look, I'll give it a shot one day. One day I'll come in one time just jacked out of my mind. Nah.
Off season,
get the rig back. I just need to get the rig back. Boys, it's grand final week. How are we feeling? How are we feeling?
Mate, I'm excited. There's a lot of buzz, obviously.
Are you feeling nervous? Because you're a Melbourne man now,
Yeah, I am. Yeah. I am. Look, I'm quietly confident. I will say the Nelson thing has been a big blow. Yeah. I was overly confident with Nelson still there. But I still think Storm, crazily, and not everyone will agree with this, I do think they go into it slight favourites. They're in form, and purely because of the 7-6-9-1. But I was talking to Matty before, and we were going through it. They've only got 5 players who've been in a granny. This is a full reboot of the Melbourne Storm team.
They're one of the most inexperienced.
You say 12, Matty, Penrith?
12 for Penrith, yep.
So that, for me, is their edge, Penrith's edge. And they're showing up. It's game day. Another grand final, 5th grand final. But the Storm, they're on a run. I just think it's going to be an epic game, and whoever turns up on the day, it's theirs.
Yeah. When you really look at both sides, when you looked last year, you knew Broncos had the roster to do it, but you just didn't know whether they'd put it together or not. They did for 20 minutes and then they fell off. Whereas Storm and the Penrith heading into this grand final, both teams have the roster, and both teams, they can put it together. You know what I'm saying?
Storm aren't going to fall off either.
No, I don't think so. Unless Penrith just play unbelievably.
There's going to be a 15 to 20 minute period where it's literally back and forth just the greatest arm wrestle.
But then
we've ever seen.
you go back to something like, for example, the Penrith-Para game. Penrith were just the better side. And then you go back to the Rabbitohs.
Much better.
I think the Rabbitohs did really well to hang into that game, if I'm being honest. And so this is one of those grand finals where each team, you could look on paper and you go, all right, the Penrith forward pack on paper is bigger names, but I think that the Storm backline is better than the Penrith backline.
Yep.
And then spine, it's a bit of a... Cleary holds so much weight, although on paper that the spine of the Storm is better, Cleary is such a big dog that he can almost carry a bit of that weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you've got Cleary and Edwards. Edwards is New South Wales. Cleary's New South Wales. Obviously, Grant's, better than Kenny. And then you've got Luai Munster. A couple of years ago, you would have said Munster definitely. And I still have Munster as a better player, but form-wise, it's pretty even.
Yeah. I think Munster's there, but if Luai turns up and has a game of his life, he's
been so good this year. He's had arguably the best year of his career. So it's just such a good matchup. I mean, it's going to be interesting. Someone wrote in a text yesterday a couple of days ago to the captain's run, basically saying toughness will outlast intimidation, and because they were a Storm fan. And basically what they were saying was because the Panthers have built this dynasty on an intimidating forward pack, just dominating you. But the Storm are almost the complete opposite. Like Kamikamitha, Josh King and Christian Welch, they're not shotting anyone. But I tell you what they are doing, they're going all day.
Yeah.
They're giving you nothing. Absolutely. Everything is perfect.
Yeah.
And so it's such a juxtaposition of very different styles of forward packs. Mate, it is just...
Your McDonald's and your Kings, they're just going to show up and they're going to do the job.
Yeah, they're going to... They may not, they may not be bloody a Payne Haas or something like that, but they're also never going to let you down when it comes to inside running, inside lines. It's come to, tying in for your mate, wrestling every single time they get someone to the ground, they're making sure their wrestle is perfect. All the little details that you just don't see normally as a casual.
I think it's a nice right-left battle. Cleary and Martin, it's strong on that side, but the Munsters, the Blores, that's going to be a good defensive battle. If the right side for the Storm turn it on, I think that's where we could have some success. The wingers, hopefully it's just bomb city for it's a 6'3" battle versus the two short fellas. They offer a lot, but mate, it's going to be interesting to see how it ends up. But it's going to be a battle for field position. It's going to be a big game and a must for Cleary and Hughes to just fucking execute as well as they can.
Yeah. Also, guys, do not forget Aussie footy shorts. That is right. We have released bloke footy shorts with Aussie footy shorts. Go to footy-oz.com. You can go to their Instagram, Oz Footy Shorts. Give them a follow, but also they don't just have bloke footy shorts. They have so many different designs. And when I say they are the go-to place in the whole country for footy shorts, I am not kidding. We could literally make our own footy shorts if we wanted to, and we choose not to because Oz Footy Shorts are so good at what they do. So head to Oz Footy Shorts, grab some bloke footy shorts or other footy shorts, whatever you do, and also give them a follow. Bloke just like me, he started his business from nothing and he's built it up and he's getting bigger and bigger each year. So, get around him. I always love hearing stories of blokes that are just having a crack. He's built this up from absolutely nothing and it's doing fantastic. So head over to his Instagram, go to Aussie Footy Shorts. You'll be able to see our bloke footy shorts there. Grab some. There's a limited supply. Once these are gone, we don't do these designs very often, and we've only done 2 of these drops ever. So I don't know when we'll do the next one. So head to Aussie Footy Shorts. Go to their Instagram and you'll be able to see the range they have. It is a crazy range. And as always, a massive thank you to Aussie Footy Shorts for partnering with the show.
The pockets are the selling point. I went to the gym this morning. They're so good.
They look good.
So good. High quality material. And also, the pockets are sewn in a way.
They had pockets.
Yeah, but they're sewn in a way. Like some people go, pockets in footy shorts. It might make them feel like not footy shorts, like training shorts. But they're actually sewn in a way where you could almost feel like you don't have pockets.
Yep.
They're sewn so well. Like it's not sewn where you kind of, how sometimes you can feel the pockets in it? It's not like that at all. So, mate, they're just the best. Seriously, go and grab them. Support a locally owned Aussie business. Absolute legend. And he's been a part of the bloke community for years. So get around him. Alrighty, Jahrome Hughes wins the Dally M. Holy heckers. I was shitting myself, mate. When he lost that 6 points for touching the ref, I said in the group chat, it's a disgrace. And I tell you what, if he hadn't have not won the Dally M over that, it would have been one of the biggest disgraces in Dally M history, in my opinion.
It would have been embarrassing.
It would have been like, look, if he hip dropped someone or head hide someone, look, we have to deal with this shit for the last few years. Then okay, I would have copped that he lost it over that, but over the touching of the ref, I would have lost my mind.
When that came up on the points board and they deducted it, the stomach dropped. I was like, no.
And then they're heading into the last few, and Bellyache rests him, and I'm going Bellyache, who may have just cost Jahrome Hughes his only first Dally M, and then to win by 1 point. Look, I am so happy the right person won. Like, so happy. And, like, I'm happy as well for Tedesco because what a champion.
Yeah.
Like, I think he actually has the most ever Dally M wins for a fullback. I don't know. Even though Teddy is appreciated, I still don't think he gets enough respect for how good he is and how long he's been this good. Like, he's won Dally M fullback of the year more times than Billy Slater and Darren Lockyer.
It's crazy.
That's insane.
And what was another stat I seen? He's been in the top like 3 or 4 the last 4 or 5 years, Matty, is it? Something like that? Like, that's wild.
Mate, it's incredible. And so
underrated, the consistency.
So underrated. And also just like people counted him out this year and he's come out and nearly won a Dally M. Like, think about how many people at the end of last year said Teddy was done, washed. Comes out and does what he does. So I'm happy for that. However, Hughes was head and shoulders. Like, Teddy and the rest of the field, I'd put them together. Hughes was head and shoulders above everyone else, in my opinion.
Wasn't it wild, like, from the get-go of the whole night that every player was just referring to, like, oh, yeah, Hughesy's won it, or like, you've never seen that.
Mate, it was one of the rare occasions where
it's crazy.
Everyone was kind of on board with Hughesy winning it. What a journey, though, and what a lesson for any young girl or boy that everyone's journey to becoming great at whatever they do is different. Hughes, North Queensland, Titans, doesn't work out. Nearly quit the game, nearly said it wasn't going to work out. Then Pappy takes his spot at fullback and Bellyache says, you know what, I think you can be a half. Then on top of that, he thinks it's not working. He nearly signs a deal with the Warriors, a 4 or 5 year deal. But because COVID hits, he couldn't go over to do a meeting with them. And then they're like, you know what, I want to stay at the Storm, stays at the Storm. And on top of all of that, we always think that halves need to be these loud, boisterous, in-your-face, these strong personalities to lead teams around. Hughesy proves that you don't have to be, you can be a very humble, quiet kid that if you work enough on your self-confidence, that you can be a 7 and lead. We'll put it this way. Hughes proved that different personalities can lead teams around. You don't have to fit a certain stereotype in a box to be great at what you do, and Hughes proved that on what was it, last night or the night before? And
if I don't know if you've got a reference like this that you've played with someone, Kempy, but if you know Hughesy on the field, he's a savage. Yeah. If you watch closely, and maybe Storm fans have picked up on this, you can see he's ultra competitive, but mate, he's a savage on the field, and it's like bipolar opposite,
so
night and day to how he is,
mate. You could see, and what I was so impressed about. Sometimes when a player wins the award, you can see him almost basking in the adulation, like people giving them compliments, and they square their shoulders a little bit more, and it's kind of they're taking it all in like a sponge, they're absorbing it. But Hughesy was almost like all the compliments were just washing off him, like he just so humble, so humble for such a gun. What a journey! And as I said, any young fella that's out there, or young girl that's like, oh, I didn't make this team, or I didn't make that team, and I don't have all this ability or that ability, or I'm a late bloomer. Look at Hughesy's journey. He just won a Dally M in a position that he'd never played before. It's an incredible story.
So cool.
Incredible story, like just amazing. So I'm stoked Hughesy done it. He deserved it, and I'm gonna tell you what, it's exciting times for Melbourne because you look. Their oldest spine member is bloody Munster, and he's still got at least 3 or 4 years left in him. So they've got this spine together. You'd have to say guaranteed at least, 2 to 3 years together?
Oh, yeah. And guaranteed. The rest of the team's young too.
Then you've got Grant, who's 25. They've got Hughesy, who's like 27. You've got let's say Munster is the older player. Let's say he retired early or whatever. You got Wishart that could come in. Like it's exciting time for Melbourne.
Even far longer.
Far longer, yep, absolutely. So, mate, What an incredible win.
Even yesterday at the golf day, we were asking all the players, what do you think Hughes was the winner? And like everyone was just like 100%, like they're almost passionate about it.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Like the players were literally like, absolutely he should have won it. He was head and shoulders. Whereas like other years, you get a split answer. Like a lot of guys
never seen it like this.
I've never seen it like this. So good on Hughesy. So good. All right, Dalian team of the year, Teddy at the back, To'o and Lomax on the wings, Critter and Herbie Farnworth in the centres, Dearden at 6, Hughes at 7, Tarpanier at 8, Grant at 9, Adam Fanor-Blake at 10, Crichton at 11, Katoa at 12, and Yo at 13. I'll tell you what, what a performance from Herbie Farnworth to get in. I thought Ramian might get the nod just because he'd played. I thought Herbie Farnworth's injury might hurt him a little bit, but he's so good.
So good, bro.
Like to leave the Broncos and then go and do that is just what I'm just so impressed with Herbie is like, I feel like there's still more in him.
I agree.
I feel like he can go even more and more. And imagine
he has not reached his ceiling.
He's not reached his ceiling. And also like, even at the Broncos, Katoni was like, he was the strike centre. So all the players were around, all the headlines, all the media talk was about, Katoni needs to get early ball. And then he goes to a new club and he's got like essentially rookie halves. Imagine when Herbie Farnworth, when Katoa gets a few more runs under his belt and they start making plays for Herbie Farnworth. Like imagine how good he's going to be.
And one of the big developments for Herbie was going from being an absolute workhorse in the centres to just showing some of his brilliance. And as we said, the ceiling has not been reached for that brilliance.
Yeah, because like he still does all the tough stuff. But I feel like
better than anyone.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like he doesn't get enough good ball. Like very rarely do I see plays like set up for him to hit an overs line or whatever it is.
100%.
So. Mate, I'm stoked for Herbie. As I said, like when in front of me, I was like, I think Ramian might get in there just because of the length of the year. But Herbie being there is like for sure. I'm so happy for him. He definitely deserves it.
His average running meters was 170 from centre.
From centre. From centre.
Credit to Storm. The only time he went below 100 twice was both against Melbourne.
Wow.
They are the masters, eh?
Game plan.
They are the freaking masters. Obviously, Critter, lock him in. You know that.
Crazy that Critter and Herbie, they both won Centre of the Year last year, both at different clubs.
Yeah, wow.
So it's pretty cool.
That's sick.
That is sick. And then you've obviously, what I like about this is Tarpanier getting number 8. He does not get enough appreciation for how good he is. Put it this way. Heading into the Dally M's, I guarantee if you polled most of the NRL fans, I reckon 80% of them wouldn't even mention Tarpanier because he's in Canberra.
Yeah. And
he doesn't get the headlines. But, mate, you watch him play, he is easily in their top 3 players every single week.
Dominant.
Every single week. So stoked for him. Adam Fanor-Blake goes back-to-back. Incredible. I mean, Sharkies fans must be sitting there just going,
I can't wait to see it, eh?
To'o, GOAT. Lomax stoked for him. Katoa, what a journey for him as well. At the Warriors, not really working out. Takes the hard route, goes down to Melbourne where it's tough, and then he's turned himself into a Dalian back
arguably the biggest improver across the competition. Like, he's come so far.
And then you got obviously Yo at 13. I mean, geez, talk about misconsistent. He's almost like the Teddy of locks, just like year on year on year, high quality performance.
I still feel like we take Yo for granted. Like, I know he gets accolades, but mate,
I think you'll always will. I think no matter what he does, because he's with Nathan Cleary, anyone in that team, they'll always have that shadow of Cleary with them. That was what was so interesting about the Melbourne Storm, that they managed to not really overshadow each other too much. I don't know how they did it. They were known as the big three rather than, whereas like you look at the Penrith Panthers and it really is Cleary is the main man most of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that the diehard fans know. I think when you look back at this incredible run they got, I think the diehards will go, mate, Yo was one of the main men's. Like, there's even an argument to be made, like, if Yo wasn't in this side, during the year when Cleary got injured, they don't make the top 4. Like,
literally.
There are so many games where him and Dylan Edwards, just pick the Panthers up off the canvas.
Yeah, wow.
So, yeah, just amazing stuff.
The other one was Grant, and I think he definitely deserved it, but I actually wouldn't have been shocked if Brayley or Robson got it.
Yep.
Because I thought they both had great years too. especially Brayley.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think with Harry Grant, he's just so good that we just expect it.
Yeah, that's so true.
I think we've been guilty of it as well, like on the Monday show where we just go, oh, yeah, Harry Grant, he had a couple of try assists and he was pretty good. Yeah. Whereas, like, his stats and the way he plays, if any other hooker played like that, we'd be going, oh, my God, what a game. The bar's so high. His bar is so high. Yeah, you're right. So high. Don't forget also, Ryan Pappenhausen was our menu log hungriest player. Use code Ryan for free delivery. Minimum spend is $30. I mean, geez. Use menu log on grand final week. Free delivery, minimum spend $30. Use code Ryan. Get your family around, get your crew around to watch the grand final and grab an order of a feed on menu log. And also, do not forget Good Day. Head to Good Day, begoodhealth.com.au. Or obviously go to Hello Sport website, Hello Sport Instagram and Good Day Instagram and grab some Good Day. Use code BLOKE for 20% off. And I literally, no word of a lie, no G-up, since they launched it, I have been using Good Day and it is unbelievable. It is so convenient. Like anytime let's say you're rushing out of the house, you just grab a satchel ball and put it in your thingo and all your vitamins are sorted. Like it is. So guys, trust me. And also, like, even if you're a guy that's like, oh, I don't really normally take my multivitamins or whatever, if you hate getting sick, if you build up, like, let's say you do this for 30 days and a virus comes along and it rips through the family, I guarantee you might get a little bit sick. You'll get nowhere near as sick as what you would have got if you weren't taking your multivitamins. So, Good Day, begoodhealth.com.au, or head to their Instagram. Make sure to grab some. Use code BLOKE for a 20% discount. Alrighty, Cam Munster and Liam Martin. This was quoted. Munster said, Liam is Liam. It's funny looking back on it. We probably didn't like each other in Aussie camps, Munster said. He later hinted that the media cherry-picked the quote. Liam Martin said, when he was told of this quote, I was actually surprised by that. I thought we were fine, but if he feels like that, then that's his problem. It won't change anything on Sunday. I'll play the exact same. I don't remember any issue during camp. I think I beat him in poker and they thought we were fine, but obviously that's not the case. You know what? Having known Munster, I guarantee
feels cherry picked.
He said that quote with a smile on his face, being cheeky.
There's no way.
There's no way he said that seriously.
No. He doesn't really have an issue with many people, to be honest.
That's what I mean. Like
it's
Munster, I guarantee he was like, yeah, we didn't really like each other that much, and laughed, and the media's just gone, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what's come out since then? Cam Munster then revealed it was his mum that told him he needs to make amends with Liam, and they had a photo shoot together yesterday. So there's actually a picture of them, like, roughhousing each other or whatever. But when that first quote came out, I was like, that's not Munster. Just to be like, oh yeah, we didn't like each other. And also, like, for him to be able to not handle banter, because Liam Martin is like a known pest. I'm like, that's Munster's bread and butter.
Exactly.
He is a pest himself.
He wouldn't hate him. He'd just be looking for revenge. And in an Aussie camp, like, you're not going to come out and say you don't like a bloke. Yeah. Like, it just is not going to happen.
I guarantee he said it tongue in cheek.
100%.
And it's just been like the journo's gone, oh, yeah, that's a great in print. I can. So that's all been sorted. But it's funny. It did. I tell you what, even though I knew there was a bit of a G-up, I was still like, sometimes it can begin as a G-up, but the media and the pressure from everyone else can make it more than what it is. And I was like, hope it turns into something on the game. But no, they're all good. They're all good. Okay, now next topic. There are reports that New South Wales Rugby League weren't thrilled with how Madge left the Blues. The rumblings about him pushing for a 2-year deal and also not letting anyone know about the potential Broncos job earlier. Who should coach the Blues? This is conflicting because I've also heard reports that they were like, yeah, pretty good. Like, what I'm not getting is, like, they put him on a part-time role. So it's a part-time gig. And also, I'm pretty sure he's always made it clear if something came up, he would take it.
He said that multiple times.
He has.
Yeah, and so, like, it's funny. Remember when this all went down and I said the part-time gig it sounds like it's people higher up that want to go at the end of the year and go, look, we won an Origin and we saved $300,000 or whatever it was. And I just look at it and I go, okay, if Madge was on a 3-year deal, full-time contract with New South Wales Rugby League, do you reckon he would as easily be able to just go, I'm going to take this gig?
No way.
Like, no way.
That's what happens that sounds like they were hedging their bets.
Yeah, it sounds like they were like, part-time gig, it's a 2-year deal, but it's kind of part-time. But this is how you, like, That's what made this so easy for him to be able to go to Brisbane, is because it was a part-time deal that was over 2 years. To be honest, it's such a bizarre setup. I would love to know what the actual part-time 2 years, I don't know how that works. So does he not get paid? So he only gets paid for like 4 months or whatever?
Yeah, honestly, I have no idea, to be honest.
First time ever a part-time deal. So that just opened the door for him to be able to just go, boom, I'm out of here. Yeah, as I said, first of all, I don't believe that New South Wales are actually that upset, because if they were that upset, surely they would have probably said, mate, we want you to be, here's a 3-year deal, take this deal with New South Wales. And you know what I'm saying? If they were this upset about him leaving, how come it was so easy for him to leave? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think they're riding the bandwagon as well. There's a bit of media about him leaving New South Wales and everything that they've done, and then obviously he's going to the Broncos. But
see, I reckon it's the media just trying to gin something up that isn't there. I actually don't think New South Wales Rugby League. I think they've done good by Madge. He's gone to him and said, I want to play, to be a coach, and they've respected that and said, thanks for your services. I actually think New South Wales Rugby League have handled this well from a perspective. Put it this way, if they are upset, then they probably only have themselves up to blame for a part-time gig. But I personally just don't think they are upset. Because if you were, you wouldn't. That deal's not getting done in 5 days if New South Wales Rugby League are like, we want you to stay.
Yeah, and there's no one that doesn't know that Madge was very clear and open
obvious
that coaching gig is his priority. But he did the job. He did what he needed to do. New South Wales got what they wanted. Where do you think it goes? External or NRL coach?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be an NRL coach. Yeah. If I'm a club, there's no way I want people have tossed up Ivan Cleary.
Yeah.
Bro, if I'm the CEO of the Panthers, there's no way in hell I want Ivan Cleary coaching the Blues. Now, if it is a dream of Ivan Cleary's to do that, then that's a different story, and there's a give and take, and you've got relationships, you want to keep him happy. But that could derail the whole season. What if he goes and gets beaten 3-0? You know what I mean? That could derail your club's whole season.
From the club's perspective, I get it, but I thought about Ivan's perspective the other day, and it's like, mate, you've just been to 5 grand finals. I might have a crack at Origin. It's like, what more do I need to do?
I think that door's going to always be open for Ivan.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I think that at some stage, if he wanted to, he could become the Blues coach.
It couldn't be easy to just disrupt your NRL season. I mean, I know Bellamy's done it,
and he said he'd never do it again.
Yeah, he said that this week.
He said I'd never do it again.
It would be hard, man.
He's so I cannot for the life of me believe people in this current day and age think you can coach an NRL side and also prepare correctly for a New South Wales Origin season.
Especially being up against Slater, who apparently does 8 hours a day of tape or whatever.
Yeah, I believe it. I've seen it. You wouldn't do it justice.
You're just not doing it justice. No. So, for example, people go, but could you build a team around him? Okay, so that means that people are doing his work for him. That means that people are selecting for him. I think it's crazy. It has to be someone that isn't in the NRL right now. And the problem is there's bloody no one. There's no one there.
I reckon it's got to be someone. They got to do the same kind of thing where it's a former coach like Brad Arthur or someone like that. I don't think they should go back to someone who hasn't coached in ages.
Oh, man. And I don't think they should do a rookie coach. That's craziness.
No.
A rookie coach is absolute insanity for Origin. Really, it's really only Brad Arthur that's on the market, isn't it?
Yeah.
In terms of recent coaching.
Wow. I just don't know. Even though I thought Brad Arthur was actually a good club coach, I'm just not sure I see him as a Blues coach.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, boys?
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know who comes to mind or what you do without going for a legacy coach that's been a part of New South Wales, but preference would be someone who's been in the mix. After we broke down the Madge situation the other week, it was like, now I really saw his growth, his personal development, what he would have gone away and done, how he would have prepped for the New South Wales gig.
Yeah.
Semi recently still been in the system, so I do think we need to replicate that, but don't know how.
What about Paul McGregor?
Yeah, that's a good one. I reckon he's a really good shout. He was the assistant a couple of years ago. So he was been in there recently.
And the thing with Paul McGregor is when he was at the Dragons, he got hammered. But then when he left, they went to shit.
Yeah.
Think about how poor they have not recovered since he got forced out of the club. They have not recovered.
Is he in a system now?
I'm not sure. I've actually played under Mary McGregor.
Yeah?
He's great. Like he is a real good man manager. And I look back at that Dragons time while he was coach, and I personally believe it was the people above him that are not. It just looked like they didn't. I mean, they're literally still trying to recover. They only just they still haven't finished better than he finished.
Yeah, wow.
Because there were periods when he was a coach when they had the most Origin players of any team in the competition, and I know that the first 10 rounds they would be on top of the table. Granted, they would fall off a cliff and they'd finish like 9th or 10th, but Flanagan's come in, it's his first year and he's done incredibly well, but he's still in there. The club is still in relatively the same position as when Paul McGregor was the coach, and he got let go, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago?
McGregor was 2020, yep. And like 2018.
4 years ago.
Yeah, 2018, McGregor, he got him to the second week of finals. And they shouldn't have even been, like he's had some success.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, he's played Origin. He's played, I think he's won, I think he won 4 series.
Tough.
Yeah.
And he was a beast. Like he's old school, tough. So I wonder if he's interested. I know he has a successful business on the side, so he might just be like, nah, stuff that. Honestly, if I was like gun to head right now without any more information in front of me, obviously if I was selecting it, I'd sit down and go through a lot more. But he's probably the front runner for me personally. Played it before, so he's also like, he is a man that you respect. He just demands respect. He's been in the system before. He was assistant coach
probably 2 or 3 years ago.
2 or 3 years ago. Actually, when you went on that back-to-back run, wasn't it?
Nah, he wasn't there when I was there, but I think he might have been there in 21.
21.
But he was definitely there recently, yeah.
Yeah, so, probably Mary McGregor. He's a legend too. He's a great cracking bloke.
I know we can't do NRL coaches, but I'd love to see Craig Fitzgibbon one day coach the Blues.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, that would be real. I mean, look what he's managed to squeeze out of his current roster.
Yeah.
Imagine what he would be getting out of bloody.
He'd be great.
Imagine Fitzy with a top tier crazy roster. What he'd be doing with it? Far out. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But yeah,
McGregor was in 2022, so they didn't win, but he was still there.
He's still been a part of the system. I'm sure he was there before that.
Possibly.
I'm sure he was. Or maybe, anyway.
No, I agree with you. I feel like he was in the mix somewhere.
I'm sure he was. Anyway, it's all good. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
You know what? You are 100% right. I haven't read it, but I remember he was there when I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. He was there at some point. I don't know what he was doing, but he was definitely in the mix.
I thought he was your defensive coach.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I was getting mixed up between him and Craig Fitzgibbon, but yeah, he was there when I was there.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But in regards from like a New South Wales fans, I understand why New South Wales are disappointed, but like he delivered a victory. Like I think when people say, he's letting us down because he's leaving, it's like, well, hang on a sec. He was brought in to do a job. He did his job. And then he was always obvious that he wanted to go and be a full-time coach. And he is giving you so much time to find another coach and begin to build towards next year. Like, I don't feel like I genuinely don't feel like he's let anyone down.
No.
I really don't think so.
I agree.
Okay, signings. Eels signed Jack Williams for 3 years. There are reports that the RCG will be the Titans. I'm hearing whispers that the Titans too. And Bulldogs re-signed Josh Curran. RCG to the Titans. I mean, you know what? He might be that old battler forward that they need, to be honest. Just an up and down, get through the tough stuff in the middle there. Geez, he'll take some load off Tino.
Yeah.
Holy.
I think he'll be really good for the Titans.
Yeah, because then you've got Moe, RCG, and Tino in the front row. Like that's a good rotation.
That's great.
Yeah.
You're right though about taking some of the heat off Tino.
Oh, far out.
That opens things up.
That improves their forward pack.
Massively.
Far out. Because that's the one thing they lack is an old experienced big fella at front row. I know they got Isaac Liu, but he's more of a 13.
Yeah.
And then, it's Fodawaker, it's Tino. And they've got, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. He's actually one of their better players this year. Comes off the bench. Jolliffe.
Oh, Jolliffe, yeah. He's good.
So a rotation of Jolliffe, RCG, Moe, and Tino, that's good.
Solid.
That's really good. I wonder how long he's going to sign for.
Yeah, that's the sticking thing.
Yeah.
He's only 31, so
he's not too old.
He's not too old.
And he literally just won Player of the Year for the Eels. I know they didn't have a best year, but It's still decent.
He had a good year.
Yeah.
I thought he was good. And Tino was out all last year, so the Titans are going to improve dramatically. You'd hope.
I don't know.
You'd hope.
You just don't know with the Titans. You know what? I'm like a scarred lover with the Titans. I've been so high on them for so long, and they just break my heart. They break my heart.
It's got to happen soon.
Josh Curran resigning. Obviously, great. What a. I mean, the Bulldog story. I love the Bulldog story.
Yeah.
That's good.
What are your thoughts on Bellamy getting Coach of the Year over Serraldo?
Yeah, look, I had Serraldo, but I wasn't like they're both so good. Ivan could have got it.
Well, I feel sorry for Ivan now. He's never won Coach of the Year.
No.
Yeah.
What? Is he not?
I'll confirm that.
Surely in that second year, 2021, he won it.
All right, let me have a look.
He won it 2021.
I didn't mind the Bellamy, to be honest. I think
he won 2020. That's it.
2020.
So in all their premiership years, he didn't win.
See, that's wrong.
strange.
That's strong.
I think who won the three-peat year?
Last year,
Kevy?
I think it was Kevy. Yeah.
Ivan's just going, all these blokes who get there and battle me and lose, they win. It's like...
But it's for the season.
Oh, no,
though.
sorry. Last year was Andrew Webster.
Oh, for the Warriors.
And then the year before was Todd Payton. And then the year before was Bellamy. And that was fair. 2021, Storm broke all those records. But yeah, Ivan 2020 and 2014 as well.
It's for the season.
It's for the season, but they've been dominating.
They won minor premiers, wouldn't they?
You know what? I think they need to... Oh, it's hard to say Peyton didn't deserve it that year. They came... What did they come?
They came from second last to like third or something. But like I think that what they did this year, they looked at it and went, we can't keep giving Coach of the Year to the person that has improved the most. Yeah, they've changed the criteria a little bit, which is it's quite funny, but I kind of feel for
Ivan
him.
definitely deserves it more than once. That's insane.
Yeah.
I felt good about the Bellamy Coach of the Year this year. I thought with the minor premiership and the way that they've developed a lot of players, and I thought it was really arguably they were the most consistent team all year, so I felt all right about it.
You know what? I reckon it's the Webster and the Peyton ones that you probably you should have given one of them to Ivan, I think.
I agree.
You know what? It probably should have been
The Webster?
The Webster,
Yeah.
I'd say. Well, probably both, because Webster finished, fourth? And Peyton finished third. Yeah. Honestly, both those years, it probably should have been Ivan. And that's coming from a bloke that probably did pick Webster last year and pick Peyton. But now that you look back on it, and you kind of go, hang on a sec, this bloke's winning, he's coming first.
Yeah. It just should go to the team that wins the minor premiership. Like, really?
Yeah, it's a tough one, though, because then...
It is tough.
Because, like, a roster gets to a certain point, and it's like, how impactful is the coaching if the roster... Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm happy to look at it more holistically.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just boring then. You just go, yep, you won the minor premiership, you get the Coach of the Year. Look, I'm happy either way. I had Serraldo just because of, like, how... What I loved about what Serraldo did was stuck to his guns. Like, he literally cleaned an entire roster out because the other roster wasn't agreeing with his system. Cleans the roster out, brings a whole new one in, and they finish, in the top 8. However, you look at Bellamy to win the minor premiership with 3 weeks to go, and you actually look at the roster. It's not actually on paper. It's a super inexperienced young roster, so it's actually incredible what he's achieved. It's amazing.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Best player developer of all time, in my opinion. It's like definitely locked in. Definitely locked in.
There's a really good feature piece. I highly recommend everyone watching. Matty Johns did a face-to-face with him on Fox this week. So good.
Oh, yeah.
It's incredible.
That'd be mad.
He's the best player developer of all time. He's got 6 Dally M wins under him. So he's got Cam Smith twice.
Yep.
He's got Billy Slater once.
Cronk
twice.
Yep.
And Hughes. And all of them, there's an argument to be made, didn't actually come to the club in the position they won the Dally M in.
Well, I know what you're saying. It's grey, but it's a strong argument.
So, like, Cam Smith grew up playing in the halves.
Yep.
Cooper Cronk wasn't a half.
Nah.
Billy
not even
Slater,
close.
outside centre wing, fullback.
Yeah.
That's the one where you just can kind of go, outside back. Hughes, definitely not.
Yeah.
So at least 3 of the 4 that won it, he has coached them into a different position, into a Dally M. Insane. He's the greatest player developer all time. I think there's always a very fair argument of like who's the greatest coach of all time, whether it's Wayne, Gibson, whether it's Bellamy. I don't think there's any argument whatsoever. Craig Bellamy is the greatest player developer of all time in my opinion.
This has always been the case, and I know you would have felt the same when we were younger because there was always that awe and wonder of what goes on at the Storm. But if you are now between the ages of 15 and 18 and put all the money in the world aside and you get a tap on the shoulder and say, we've got an opportunity for you at the Storm, you take it.
Oh, mate.
Mums, dads, whoever the fuck's listening.
Yeah.
It is, you are basically being gifted.
Yep.
To have
You're gifted your potential. That's what you're being gifted because you'll reach your potential.
To have the start of your career or your pathway be developed at the Storm, it's unbelievable.
Like think about, Katoa wasn't working at the Warriors. Nick Meaney couldn't make the Bulldogs, like in and out of the nights. Then you've got Sean Bloor. Sean Bloor let go. Like Tigers said to him, we're not going to re-sign you. The Tigers came 17.
Pappenhausen's a crazy story as well.
Yeah.
He was he was discarded, like injuries and whatever else. Warbrick's another one. Their forward pack, like
Josh King.
Crazy.
Like
Just from the Tigers, you've got Corabetti, you've got Addo-Carr, you've got the two that you just said, and that's just from one team.
And they've gone and said, you know what? I actually see greatness in them, and he's brought them down. And yeah, he is the great. It's not a debate. It's not an argument. I'm happy to have an argument about who is the greatest coach.
Yeah.
But I'm not willing to have an argument about who's the greatest player developer. I think it is absolutely Craig Bellamy, and I think that the facts back it up, especially now that he's got So Melbourne Storm now have the most Dally M wins of any club in the history of the game, 6.
How do you feel about Coach? I know you did that post earlier in the week, and I jumped on the bandwagon just feeling if he gets this done this week, I feel with what he's done leading up to now, the premierships, the success, the big 3, the player development, but this team, it is a rebirth, and he's brought in all these players and he's done it again, and there's another big 3, big 4. I feel it does put him at the top personally, but I know there's a very close argument for the Wayne Bennett.
If he wins this weekend, I think he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Because I agree with you. The one knock on Bellamy was, Wayne Bennett's gone to different clubs. And what does that mean? Well, it's different squads.
Yeah.
This is a different squad.
Yes.
To what won the premiership in 2020, and it's a much different squad to the one that he had, because that was always, again, the knock on Bellyache was like, oh, well, he had 3 immortals. Yeah, he developed them, for one. He's the one that developed them. But now that can no longer be levied at him. So I personally think if he wins this weekend, like, I don't know if you lock him in as a GOAT. I think it's reasonable to still argue, but it's like I'm 80% there, 85, 90% there. Like maybe you could present to me, some other evidence that I haven't thought of, but very hard to push back on that. Maybe you could say, well, Wayne went to the Dragons, and yes, that we're talking about the Storm is a new squad, but it's still the same club, and the culture that was instilled from the Immortals has a lot of effect on the new players. And maybe if you come from that angle.
Wayne's the only one in the conversation, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, going back in time, I don't know who would compare in other eras.
Well, I think Gibson. I don't know much about Gibson.
They always talk about Gibson.
Yeah. Look, I think Ivan Cleary will.
Of course.
He's on his trajectory.
He's in that group now, anyway.
But in saying that, the unique thing about Ivan Cleary, it's the 4 premierships back to back. That's what makes it so bizarre. Like you go, but let's say they were to lose. Like, let's say they weren't to win this weekend, and then they, a few years go by, they win a premiership. Another few years go by, they win a premiership. But then, imagine in 20 years, Nathan Cleary's gone, Ivan's still coaching. He refreshes the whole roster and then wins another comp.
Well, then you go to this chat happens again.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what Bellyache has kind of done.
That's what I'm saying. And if he did that, this chat happens again.
Crazy. Yeah, look, I think I'd be willing to say he's the GOAT coach if he wins this weekend. I think it's not. I think that the player development GOAT, that's not up for debate.
Agree.
You could still debate the coach, I think, a little bit, but it'd be closer to a pretty certain thing for me if he wins this weekend, because they've only got 5 people left from that grand 5, and Penrith have 12.
Actually, I think it might even be 4, because I think the 5 included Nelson.
Oh, no way.
So I think it's actually 4 now.
Yeah, right.
Wow. And also, what makes it even more incredible is this roster couldn't be more different from their old roster. Like, Harry Grant couldn't be more opposite to Cam Smith.
Yeah.
And Hughes couldn't be more opposite to Cooper Cronk.
Yeah.
Crazy, incredible stuff. Algo check, boys. What's been going on the Algo?
Oh, bro, I'm gearing up for the UFC this weekend, brother. So all my boy Pereira just hammering into that. So pretty pumped for the card this week. I think we spoke about that, but yeah, just all UFC heavy for me this week, bro.
Look who it is. It's a great Lockie Galvin. What's going on, brother?
Hey, lad.
We're just finishing up. Bro. So it'll be 2 secs. So take a seat, mate. Take a seat.
Take a seat on a lazy boy over there, bro. She's comfy.
Have a go at that.
Mate, it's unbelievable. I'm telling you, brother. You won't get able to get over. You fall
It's
asleep.
the world's biggest beanbag for those listening.
All right, guys. Final predictions. Storm or Penrith?
Storm, brother.
How much?
Oh, I'm gonna go. You know what? Let's go by a field goal.
Matty?
I'm going Penrith. I'll go Penrith by 2. Low scoring 2. 10,
Okay.
10-12.
What do you got?
Storm by 6 or more.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yep. Storm by 6 or more. Now, I know there's Penrith fans listening right now going, I can't wait till we win because I'm going to get in the comment section and I'm going to say, fuck you, Darren. You picked Storm. You said they were going to win without you fucking blah, blah, blah. So I get it. I'm more than happy to come in and say, yep, got it wrong. I got it wrong, but I just think it's Storm's time. But as you guys always know, when I get it wrong, I'll admit I got it wrong on Monday. But I think it's Storm's time. I do. I think that Penrith are absolutely incredible. It's going to be a super tight game.
Yeah, cracker game.
I'm just thinking Storm pip them by a try or more. Not heaps, but I think that there's going to be more than just a field goal in it. But not a 13-plus victory at all. But Penrith Panthers, you just can't. You can every time you sit there and go, all right, this is the moment that they're just going to conk out. It's inhumane. There's no way humanly possible they could back up for another year. They prove everyone wrong. So we'll see. Either way, I tell you what I do feel about it though. Being a neutral fan, I'm happy for both. If I get to witness 4 premierships in a row. That's I feel so privileged to do that. I would just be stoked. If I get to witness the birth of Harry Grant's era, I'm stoked with that as well, So either way, I'm going to be happy. I'm stoked. Put it this way, I think this grand final is really, there's not one team specifically that's really hated.
Yeah.
Usually there's the bad guy going into a grand final. I don't think it is like that this year. I think
agree.
both a lot of neutral fans are I just want to see a really good game of footy. So
that's what it's going to be.
We'll see. Alrighty. Make sure grab some Grumpy Coffee at grumpycoffee.com.au. Beautiful coffee. Try the everyday. Trust me, that's my favourite. And yeah, if you order, it should get to you relatively quickly. By about Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll be shipping stuff out and you'll be getting it within 48 hours usually of when you order. And we're still doing free shipping, so make sure to get in early whilst we're still doing free shipping. Also, Aussie footy shorts. Go and grab some bloke footy shorts. Go and get the meat diet.
The animal fueled.
And as usual, I'll go and fuck myself. Thank you.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.